Traveling through dream, what you can't see, dimensions of what we got to believe. The real celestial king, aliens standing feet above the ground. Through the sun's light above, and understand the sun. This eagles within the sky. The real resurrection of these peaceful people around the world wide, all around the galactic places. And all around the galactic spaces, the materialized world of what you can't understand. All you really is God within the nation, and nobody can really see. And star system within the sky, within the eternal light, all around the globe, everything around the planetary sun, around planetary worldwide, what you can't see. And all of what I know is really equivalent to the balance of what you can't even understand. Promise is what you got to believe. All the planetary sounds, everything around, within the connection to you up and around, surround sound system in the sky, like a worldwide goes around the world, the reason is why. But what's the real synopsis to the sound within the travel through the tree? But what you can't even see, the tree all matches down peace within space and time, like a hand resurrected to it, what you can't believe. It's really within the land to actually understand the chosen land within space and time, within the master grind, whatever we got to find within space and light, within the materialized world, all around the world. But now, as you can understand within space and time, with all the explanation around, you can understand the dimension within the upper hand of what they're trying to do all around the world, how the planetary sound structure comes through within places in space and time. It's really a galactic line. All we really are is a national known, equivalent balance with harmony around the planetary sound structure, everything and up and above and underneath. Within planetary sound of what you can't even see, the real information from being an MB, MIB, and a ball player within the game is essentially, you know what I'm saying? Main thing, what you got to believe within the main thing, doing the same within the Mary Jane game is just the main thing. We can't refrain from what we got to do. You understand, but what's the real plan? So where we got to go, you never even know. Around the world in a UFO, back and forth through a dimension of what you can't even see. Really all the way around the dimension, but the actual people that actually run me is the people within the places, space and time, and all the places within the galactic realm, and all the places all around the world wide is what you can't see. All the dimensions of everything within the place and space and time within me is really just all you got to believe. And harmony is what you got to believe. The galactic universal star from afar within space and time is the most materialized information that there ever was in God's creation within the world's realm, or what you can't even see is really the only thing that's in the information through the sea. And what you got to believe through the harmony is the real galactic information too. The real knowledge of what we got to do is just the most important thing around the galactic known thing, what you got to believe. Star system within the sky, a galactic reason why. My harmony goes out to all peace and space and time within the galactic knowledge of where I used to be. I place harmony within the galactic sea, what the information can bring. The stars and above, the planetary sound structure of what you can't see. The real information is really just all around me. And nobody actually understands. It's really we be rocking the whole nation from here and again, from back then till now. Understand the sound. It's really just the information of how we actually really run. The truth about what we really got to do is just the harmony and the real peace within the information through the sea. It's just the most important what you got to do. Hustle as much as you can and keep it cool. We got all of you, we got all of you, and we got all of you. So what you got to believe within the star system of what you can't see, like the DJ spins the record around the world, around what you got to believe sound within the sky, the harmony, the space and time to the creation, what God's trying to do. The real metropolis is really just 100% actually rhyming too. The real nationality of what you got to believe, it's all about the trees and the information through the sea, through the synopsis of the sea, to what they actually used to bring within the no synopsis, to what you can't understand, the intergalactic land, of another part of the informational wavelength of technology. That's all you got to do. Is really, if you connect back through, you can understand what we got to rhyme back to, all the way back around, and then through world sound, and then it goes back into an informational wavelength of what you can't understand through the frequency from another part of the nation within a land where you can't see because you can't believe within a star straight what you got to believe straight up and out through a harmony of light within the most amount of light which you can't even believe because the star system isn't that bright, but we got to write. So what we supposed to do, we got to understand the real number one nation, all around the harmony of where we got to go, all around the planetary sound structure, everything around the world, all around the planetary sound structure, what you can't even see. Everything within the planetary sound structure, what all we got to do. Just trust me, everything is just loop, you, and who. back to, and what we find. You got to believe in how they find everything within the neural synapses within the brain. Everything is going on within the game, but nobody can refrain from anything with what they got to do because they got the pain. But nobody can actually understand the game more than anybody known than me, because you got to believe the real information through the seas is like the information where you be, where things travel through from sound to sound, to space and time, and underneath the ground, the tunnels of what you can't even believe, over and out within space and time. You never know who's cutting off the extra dimensionals within the mind. You really got to believe it's a game within the telepathic what you can't even see back above, and then you understand me within the telekinesis of how we do. The real information that actually comes through is real knowledge of what you got to believe. The real harmony through the sea is really what you got to see within the information where the MIB might be keeping what you can't see. The information what you got to know is really the information within your brain. It's really all packed within a part of your cranium of what you can't even see. The real information could be packed inside the energy of what the mind could actually do, from the power, from the knowledge, and the third eye as you connect to. The real plain information within the game is really, you got to understand the thing within the slang. All around the worldwide sound is really what you got to believe, because we a galactic map is what you can't even understand. It's like information through the upper hand of what they're trying to plan, but you can't even see. You see information through a fiber optic running through wire ring, but what you can't even see is if you can, it's just if you do. You know how those fiber optics, but you can't even believe optics coming broken across all of them from around the world sound is what they trying to find. But everybody in the galactic mind is really just doing all around the planetary sun, all around the world. All the way around. Every single sound is what you can't even see. You got to believe through all the telekinesis and all the generals running me. You got to believe all the harmony is basically the most amount of information that you can see. The information is just the basic of all the information in the sea. All you got to do is just be harmony in space and time. And that's all you got to do. All you got to do. Rhyme all the time. Rhyme all the time. And that's all you got to do. We're traveling through space and time. What we got to believe, galactic message through the sea. Informational wavelength of what they're trying to do through. Back to what around the world, but what you can't understand is really the real number one nation. It's just the real thing of how we do. We be the traveling number one information crew of the main plan of what you can't understand within the metropolis, within the upper hand, the land of a dimension of what you can't even mention because you can't comprehend within space and time of what it could be. The real information is the information through the sea of what you can't even believe within space and time, how the harmony's going through our galactic minds within a peaceful round circle of what you can't even understand. So from a different dimension, from a different man, but what you got to believe with what you can't see within the twin inside the universal side. The real sound from another side who's coming through like a cup of what you can't even believe. You got to understand through the sea. That's really what you got to do. It's all you got to believe. It's all you got to do. It's all you got to believe is understand and believe the harmony and the peace that we bring, and the harmony that we are, and the places that we are from afar within all dimensions, from the most of what you got to believe. We got to really find something within space and time, like a star, and you can see like a medicine being blessed back to me from the information that how you got to see, how you got to believe within the star system, and how the star system could do. It's like bringing the future to you, and nobody even actually understands if what you got to believe is just, up, and you got to believe the out within space and time and how they actually do it. You already knew. But what you can't construct through is this basic seed to do what you got to do from space and time, and how the galactic mind can understand within the galactic piece of information through the sea. The real number one nation, what an MC could do within the design of the imagery is basically the knowledge of what you can't even see, but we be tongue-tied within where we go. You never have to mend and believe within, and nobody even, they just do what they do. Everybody in the planetary swim one within space and time who, so you know you're cool. And you never know who it could be within the star system, what I bring. You never know and understand how they actually doing this within the number one nation. Everything. It's all within the game, within the fame, everything within the lane. What you can't even see, running everything around the world, but down around the surround sound system within the sky. Everything within you can understand what they're trying to do. It's really the master plan of all them coming through. All you got to do is believe and believe and believe within space and time, and all harmony is really what it is within the galactic rhyme. Really, we all would just be rhyming on time within space and time. and never have to panic again, because we're the rhyming people within a different dimension. But what you got to do is bring them on in and listen to what you got to do. Bring it to the point of view of what they're trying to say. It's the middle, but you can't even believe Metropolis. And now you know within the dimension of how they let us see the real dimension of how we actually do this information for you to believe within the Metropolis. That you can't even believe within space and time, and how the most precious is the most, but you got to believe and what you got to see. Rewind and find, and what we got to do is, like, if it's true, who's gonna be the one that actually runs the city again too. And you never know what they're trying to do within space and time, but you got to believe. What do we need to know? It's just the main information within the game of everything within the place and space and time, within the wormhole. Trade the brain.